Okay, this is just a quick video on how I sharpen drill bits. It's a little bit different to how other people mainly do them, I guess. Okay, the way you normally would sharpen a drill would be to have it sitting pretty much like this on the face of the stone, and then once you make contact, slowly bring it up and maybe slowly rotate it as well to get that surface. However, it's okay for the bigger drills, but for the smaller drills I find it a lot easier. Instead of having the cutting edge pretty much sitting flat against the face of the stone like that, I like to rotate it pretty much almost right around to 90 degrees and have the chisel point pretty much where the cutting edge used to be. And instead of sweeping it up, I just like to rock it like this against the face of the stone, and I find I get better results doing that than trying sharpening them conventionally. There's obviously nothing wrong with this one, but I'll just grab another one about the same size. This is 20 millimeters. This one is 19, and it is, well, there's no real cutting edge there at all. I've rounded it right down to try and build up another edge pretty much from scratch. Another thing to look out for as well is just any discoloration of the steel. If it's blue, you can't really tell this one's a darker drill, but if you have got overheating from when you're trying to use it before, you've got to try and get rid of all that discoloration and grind it down to fresh steel, because that's going to be heat affected. It's going to be more softer, it's not going to hold an edge as well as it should. Okay. Okay, one of the things that sometimes, well, mostly happens when you sharpen them this way, the chisel point isn't quite at the angle it should be. It's like less perpendicular to the cutting edge than it should be, but I just find it this way is a lot easier to try and sharpen drills than trying to have the face on it this way. Normally these bigger drill bits I probably would sharpen them the conventional way, but just to demonstrate how I'd sharpen, say, drill bits under 1/2 inch. And that should cut just fine, I hope. Really should try and give it a go. Another trick we can do is if we need to step it out, just say we have like a 12mm hole and we want to come out to 14mm, we're only taking about 1mm of material off, you don't have a problem with the drill bit grabbing a lot. So another trick to do is to actually take the cutting edge off it and to have a more of a neutral rake. And I'll just show you how we would do that. Okay, just by using the side of the stone, you just want to take that cutting edge actually off the drill once you've sharpened it, and that'll help it not grab so much if you're not cutting a whole size hole out. And also another common mistake is I've seen people do is simply just use a way too big a pilot hole. This size is 19mm, so it only really needs a pilot drill the same size as a chisel point, which this is a 5mm drill. You'll see that it's more than big enough for this 19mm. Okay, well, the next one should just try it and see if it drills, I guess. Okay, we've just back with the drill I just sharpened. And we've just chuck it in the mill to try and see if it'll go through a bit of 4140. Just to test it out, we're going to try and put it through without the pilot hole. And I haven't put that cutting edge back on it too, so it's going to take a fair bit of force to drill the hole. That's why I've chucked it in the mill. We'll just see how it goes. That really took quite a bit of force to get it through there, just because I've taken that cutting edge off and I don't have a pilot hole. The way you'd normally sharpen them is how I did it before I took the cutting edge off. The only reason I did that is just to demonstrate what you do if you need to step the hole out only, say, 1mm or so, and you didn't want it to grab. Just say you're holding it by hand in a battery drill and it can grab and really hurt your wrist. Yeah, that seemed to handle that okay. One of the it's a little bit uneven. One cutting edge is doing a bit more work than the other, but you just go back and try and even it up just by eye. Another little thing I like to demonstrate too is just how unimportant the actual point angle is on the drill itself. Everyone seems to go on about it's got to be 118 degrees. Well, it's depending on what sort of material you're drilling, the angle needs to be different. And if you look it up, there's many different angles for different materials. I'm not exactly sure why, but the 118 degrees is simply the best average angle. Sometimes I, instead of buying a counterbore bit, I'll just take a drill and sharpen it almost 180 degrees. And that's just to get like a flat bottom on your hole. And just to demonstrate how well that can cut, at a point angle of 180 degrees almost. We'll just see. First I'm just going to use a pilot or guide hole of the same size just to start and collar the hole, and then we'll flatten the bottom out with the other bit. Okay, it's not going to work. Okay, I've just got another shorter piece of material. We'll just try and drill it out. Okay, it's a fairly sort of flat bottom, and that seemed to have no problem actually continue cutting once the hole is collared. That's just something you can do if you need a flat bottom in your hole. Just say you're trying to seat a cap screw in under a surface, and it's just to demonstrate just how little importance really the point angle is on when you're sharpening a drill.